Oh! Oh!
Oh my God. Jinxie, no!
Psst! Oh!
Jinxie, no! Oh my God.
Shit.
Meeting the in-laws for the first time is always nerve-wracking. But what if something like this happened to you? How would you handle it? What's up, movie fans? I'm Wade, your Cinephile host. Meet the Parents is a 2000 American comedy film starring Ben Stiller in the lead role. It tells the story of male nurse Greg, who meets his girlfriend's parents before proposing, but her suspicious father is every date's worst nightmare. Let's see how he deals with it.
I know we haven't been together that long, but these last 10 months have just been the happiest of my life. You're not only the person I love, you're also my best friend. And I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?
Yes.
Seriously, do you think that sounds good?
No.
Really? Because I think that kind of sums up
But
everything.
no!
Oh, sorry. Sometimes these catheters can pinch a little bit. Well, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.
Greg Fokker, a nurse living in Chicago, intends to propose to his girlfriend, Pam Burns, but his plan is disrupted when they're invited to the wedding of Pam's sister, Debbie, at their parents' house on Long Island. Greg decides to impress Pam's parents first and propose to her in front of her family, but this plan is put on hold when the airline company loses his luggage, which contained the engagement ring. At the Burns house, Greg meets Pam's father, Jack, and her mother, Dina.
What are you driving there, Ford?
Oh, yeah, it's a Taurus. Yeah, we were gonna get a mid-size, but I figure, hey, I'm pulling down decent bucks. Might as well go all out, pop for the full size.
Sure. Oh. Interesting color. You pick it?
Oh, no, the guy at the counter. Why?
No, they say geniuses pick green. But you didn't pick it.
Jack.
Greg also meets Jack's beloved cat, Jinxie. He's told never to let him out of the house because Jinxie is a house cat. Despite maintaining a friendly demeanor towards Greg, Jack is immediately suspicious of him and is critical for his choice of career as a male nurse and anything else he sees as a difference between Greg and the Burns family. Greg attempts to impress Jack with little success, and he becomes even more uncomfortable after he received an impromptu lie detector test from Jack and later learns from Pam that Jack is in fact a retired CIA operative who interrogated double agents.
Or does he hook all your boyfriends up to his little machine?
Well, he doesn't need a machine. He's a human lie detector.
What?
Greg, my father was never in the rare flower business. That was just his cover. He was in the CIA for 34 years.
How could you not tell me this?
I wanted to, honey, but it was strictly on a need-to-know basis.
The next morning, Greg finds Jack by his bedside and is warned about the secret he's been let in on. Greg then meets the rest of the family and borrows some clothes from Denny, Pam's marijuana-smoking younger brother, who implicitly frames Greg when he is caught with the smoking device. So, Jack confronts Greg about it.
But I will be watching you, studying your every move. And if I find that you are trying to corrupt my firstborn child, I will bring you down, baby. I will bring you down to Chinatown.
What I'm gonna do, it's hard to tell. No, I'm not gonna kill myself, but I might.
After the fitting, the group goes to Kevin's house, Pam's ex, for a barbecue. Again, Greg is undermined and picked on, especially during the pool party. He could take it no more and spikes a hard ball that unintentionally hits Debbie in the face and gives her a black eye. When they got home, Greg finally gets some good news with the arrival of his suitcase, but when he tries opening it, he realizes it's the wrong bag.
I know I signed for it because...
I'm looking at
Don't
your
tell me...
signature
What
right
are you
here,
talking...
Mr. Fonda.
Look,
The
do me a
back
favor.
is
Can I talk to your supervisor?
Excuse me?
What's your name?
Joy.
Okay, let me talk to your supervisor.
My
Can I-
supervisor is on a break, sir.
Okay, when he gets back, you have him give me a call right away, okay? It's a very important bag.
I'm sure it is.
Jinx!
In the meanwhile, Jack uses his former CIA connections to look up Greg. Greg follows Jinx up the rooftop but loses him. He takes a smoke that sparks a fire and while trying to put it out causes the entire front lawn to catch on fire. After the fire department put out the fire, the family realizes that Jinxie is gone missing.
No, we cannot cancel the rehearsal for some stupid cat.
Stupid cat? How could you say that? That cat's been like a brother to you. We're supposed to let him wander the streets without food, water, or toilet?
Dad, Greg will find him.
What? Yeah, what?
Oh, that's wonderful.
So Greg goes out looking for Jinxie. He finds a cat at the animal shelter that looks identical to Jinxie, but with a white tail, while Jinxie has a black tail. But out of desperation, Greg sprays paints the cat's tail to disguise as Jinxie, making him the man of the hour. That night, they all celebrated Greg for finding Jinxie, while Greg continues to make call to look for the real Jinxie. They get home to a complete mess and everything destroyed, and Greg had to come clean with the truth.
So you lied to me about everything, huh, Greg? You lied about the cat, about the fire, about the cats.
Didn't lie about the M-Cats. Come on, Pam. Don't you see what's happening here? Your dad has totally turned you against me.
I didn't turn her against you, Greg. You did that to yourself.
Jack, please. You didn't like me from the second I walked in here.
Greg is told to leave, just as his missing luggage arrives, revealing his real first name as Gaylord, much to the amusement of the Burns family. Greg drives sadly to the airport, preparing to return to Chicago, but is detained by the airport security for insisting that he wants his bag to stay with him rather than to be checked in. Back at the Burns house, Jack learns from a disappointed Pam that Greg did pass the medical college admission test. Despite this, Jack still believes that Greg is not good enough for Pam, but Dina lectures him over his consistent picking apart of any man Pam brings home. Jack then overhears Pam leaving Greg a voicemail.
The point is that I understand why you did it, and I love you. I want you to know that I really love you, and just when you get this, will you please call me? Okay, bye.
Jack realizes that Pam truly loves Greg. He rushes to the airport and convinces airport security to release Greg. But before letting him go, Jack performs a lie detector test on Greg to tell him the truth about the weekend and loving Pam, leading Jack to propose to him.
Will you devote yourself entirely to her for the rest of your life?
Of course.
Gaylord Falker? Will you be my son-in-law?
As Greg proposes to Pam, Jack and Dina listen in from another room. After Debbie's wedding, Jack views footage of Greg recorded by hidden cameras that he had placed strategically around the house, in which Greg called Jack a psycho and mocks him. Jack looks at Jinxie and say, "That's my future son-in-law. What do you think?"
The stereotype is that many people don't get along with their in-laws. But do you know of anyone who went through what Greg went through? Or do you have a personal story about meeting your in-laws for the first time? Comment below to let us know. 接下来我们来揭晓今天的句子。We pulled down a decent bucks. This is not a common usage, but in this sentence, pull down means to earn or make. Decent means enough. Bucks means dollars. Buck is an informal reference to $1 that may trace its origin to American colonial period when deer skins were commonly traded for goods. So this sentence means that they are making enough money to rent a nicer car. On a need-to-know basis, information remains secret or hidden until it is needed to be known by a particular party. The Battle of Normandy in 1944 is an example of need-to-know restriction. Though thousands of military personnel were involved in planning the invasion, only a small number of them knew the entire scope of the operation. The rest were only informed of data needed to complete a small part of the plan. Bring you down to Chinatown. When Jack tells Greg he will bring him down to Chinatown, he's using it as a threat to say if Greg does wrong by Pam, that he'll give him a bad beating. And that's it for this episode of Cinephile. You can find more on the Funday website. Let's make every day a fun day.
If I lighten up, would you consider marrying my daughter?
Would you lighten up a lot?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Would you let me and Pam live our lives and not interfere all the time?
I promise not to interfere in your lives all the time.
Do today learn. Today is Tuesday.
Commercial.
Traveler 是旅行者。
I have to wait for Clee.
So he or she is at the Columbia Towers Hotel gift store. 所以他在这个饭店的礼品店，然后他要买东西。Okay, so let's take this chance and listen to the.
学习让生活充满乐趣。Funday 英语。